So namaskar. So namaskar all of you. So basically we will be starting with our orientation cum demo class for this year's civil service batch, which we are starting from tomorrow. Okay, so I will start with some basics. If you are already abreast with the basics, then you can skip this part, and after that I'll be going to the details. Okay, so let us start then. So you know that this particular batch is both for UPSC and OPSC. Okay, so it's an integrated batch for UPSC and OPSC. Okay, now in our preparation there won't be a lot of difference in approach for the both, except for the syllabus specific things. Okay, syllabus specific things means that in the OPSC syllabus there are certain particular things which are not required for UPSC. Okay, so those things we will see. So prelims, right. We are having two papers. Okay, that is the general studies paper and the CSAT paper. Okay, both of these papers are of 200 marks. Okay, CSAT of course is a qualifying type of paper where you have to get 1/3. Okay, you have to get 67, right, out of 200, and negative marking is there, 1/3 of the total marks for each question. There are 100 questions in GS, that means 2 marks each question, and 80 questions for CSAT. Okay, so cutoff generally varies. Okay, varies year after year for GS paper 1, but to be on the safe side for UPSC, okay, it ranges around 90 to 100, but then depending on the questions, sometimes it goes below that also. Okay, this is for general category I am talking about. Similarly, so this is your prelims. I will go in details when I take the related classes. Okay, then mains, which is the most important part. Okay, there are some compulsory papers which are not included in ranking. There are some compulsory papers that are included in ranking, and there are the optional papers. Okay, mains also marking is same for UPSC and OPSC, the marking structure. Only in the interview marking structure is different. Only for OPSC interview is 250 marks. Okay, and that is the only difference. So here compulsory papers which are not, the marks are not used for ranking, but these are qualifying papers. If you don't qualify in these papers, rest papers will not be well weighted. Okay, so that is compulsory English and compulsory Indian language. So for OPSC it will be Odia. For UPSC, any language in the 8th schedule of the Constitution you can choose. Okay, then compulsory you have 5 papers: essay and GS 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of these papers is of 250 marks. Then optional, any one optional you can choose, 250 for each paper. One optional, but each optional has 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Most of the optionals are common between UPSC and OPSC. There are some optionals, like let's say home science and education, many other optionals, which you will not find in UPSC. Okay, so it is better if you are going for both exams to take an optional which is present in both the exams. But due to age or other reasons, if you are only going for state civil service, then you can take home science or education, because these optionals are relatively non-technical optionals. Okay, it doesn't require a background in education or a background in home science. Okay, or for that matter, background in other subjects also, popular subjects like sociology, political science and international relations. Okay, many other subjects are also. Okay, don't require a background for. And interview, as I told you, 250 marks for OPSC. That is the only difference you will find in the structure. Rest, the state civil service structure, structure, not the syllabus or not the standard. Okay, the structure is more or less similar. Right. Now, coming to so this is the overall structure of the exam I told you. Now you come to the most important part, that is to crack the exam. Okay, and assuming that this would be your first attempt, you have never given the exam. Okay, so in that case, your aim has to be to crack in the first attempt. Especially if you think about state civil service, you will say that government has increased the age 40 plus, 43 plus, even for general category. So much, time is left. Okay, so I can give many attempts, but that should not be the strategy. You have to strategize in such a way that by putting an effort of around 18 months to 2 years, okay, you are ready both for UPSC and OPSC to crack both the exams in the first attempt itself. Okay, that is very, very important. This is no rocket science. It's not that only exceptional people can do it. Very average students with proper planning can easily achieve it. I will not make a big fuss out of it. Okay, to show that it is very difficult, just 3 things you have to remember. Okay, ABC of success, 3 steps of success. First thing is that stick to textbook. See here, in our own classes, we are giving you 16 sets of study material, 8 for prelims, 8 for mains. Okay, but those are basically exam specific materials, very, very important things which will come in the exam. But before that, you have to be thorough, okay, with the content of the textbook. So always stick to the textbook. One textbook is sufficient. One standard textbook, okay, which is generally followed by everyone or mostly followed. Stick to the textbook and go chapter wise. So step 1, stick to the textbook. That means you finish one chapter from the textbook. After you have finished the chapter, then you go to chapter wise questions and previous year questions. Very, very important. Okay, you finish the chapter, then in your study material, in your app, your chapter wise questions and previous year questions with model answers are also there, which I will just show you now. You go through that, then chapter by chapter you are ready. After you finish a substantial part, okay, then go for full syllabus, tests. Okay, these 3 things if you are doing, then you will get success in the first attempt itself. But obviously lot of things are there which we have to discuss, how you have to discriminate between what is more important and what is less important or not important. So these are things which you will, the what you can say, virtue, okay, that you will acquire, or the skill that you will acquire slowly, okay, to discriminate what is important for the exam, what is not important for the exam. Right? So let me give you the structure for this batch which is starting. So we are having Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, geography. Geography will be taken by Anubhav sir. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are having art and culture, which will be taken by me, Suhag sir. Okay. And in the evening, already existing batch is going on for polity and constitution. And we will also be starting after prelims, that is after 12th, your answer writing classes. Okay, in the evening. So that I will tell you once we start them. Okay. Now, let me tell you the structure. See, syllabus, that is the indicative syllabus which UPSC or OPSC has given, that you can find in your app. But more importantly, what is more important for us, that is the detailed syllabus. Okay, I'll just show you the detailed syllabus. Now that detailed syllabus is very important. Okay, so suppose you are starting with prehistoric culture in India. So you tick mark here that these things have been completed. So once you have completed one part, that means you are, from the UPSC and OPSC point of view, okay, you are ready with it. Okay, so this is a detailed syllabus for each and every part of the subject. So you have to, once you complete a part, you have to tick that, okay, this part is completed. And once you complete the entire chapter or the sub-module, then you are absolutely ready for the exam. Okay, this is a detailed syllabus, or what we say the micro syllabus. For all the subjects it is there. Okay, so this is number one. Then what are the other things that you have to keep in mind? Suppose we are completing a chapter. Okay, let's say the first chapter we will start in art and culture will be prehistory and proto-history. Once we finish the chapter, you will have this in your, okay, these are the chapter wise questions which you are going to have in your app. Okay, so chapter is understood, you have finished, you have now asked the doubts, whatever you have seen it from the material, you have seen it from the textbook. Then we will do some questions, okay, which caters to both UPSC and OPSC. Okay, let us see. So this is the discovery at the Mudumal megalithic site. So megalithic sites we will study. This is a current affairs question also, but related to your art and culture, right? And this is in question bank form. This is the question, this is the answer, this is the crisp explanation. Okay, it's not a 2-page or 1-page explanation like you will find in many places. Okay, this is a crisp explanation. Once you have finished your subject reading, you will be able to appreciate it. Okay, so let's say these are level 1 questions, means single statement questions. Okay, now then the new type of questions which are coming in UPSC, so that is the level 2 multi-statement questions. Okay, on the same chapter which you have just finished. Okay, let us see one of the question 13. Consider the following statements. Attirampakam is primarily known for an early Mesolithic, microlith industry. Isampur is noted for megalith dolmen fields rather than Paleolithic activity. The Sonian industries typified by bifacial hand axes dominating the toolkit. How many of the above statements are correct? Okay, like you are getting now in UPSC. Okay, so once you finish a chapter, you have to go through these questions. Okay, this is for your prelims point of view. Now, same thing, once you finish a chapter that is related to mains. Okay, because see, all chapters, okay, of prelims don't come in mains. Okay, so now suppose in mains, if you see art and culture, the first thing, okay, that will come to our mind is the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so these are questions related to the Indus Valley civilization. So all these are already there in your app. Okay, discuss the urban planning principles of Harappan civilization. How did these architectural features reflect the socio-political organization and lifestyle of Harappan society? Provide examples from 3 sites like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. So then how you have to start? 2-line introduction, point-wise approach, because it is a 15 marks question. So you have to finish it within 11 to 12 minutes. Okay. Similarly, 10-mark question, what will be the length? What will be the headings and subheadings? What will be the concise definition and conclusion? So you have the model answer with it also. Okay, you have the model answer with it. So from the very first class, you will be starting to practice how I have to write for the mains exam, and also the tact and the things, the skills which are needed for the prelims exam. And this will be topic wise. Got it? So as I told you, this is the most important. These 3 steps are most important. These 3 steps you have to keep in mind. Okay, these 3 steps you have to keep in mind. So okay, so this is the more or less the structure. Then tests and all will be there. OMR tests or prelims test directly through the app you have to appear, and MCQ. So that is for the MCQ test. For the mains test, you have to write and submit. Okay. So that will be the structure. Okay. So now let us have a discussion on the art and culture part. Okay. First, let's discuss the syllabus that we will follow. Okay. The syllabus that we are going to follow. So this is your micro syllabus. Okay. The textbook that we will be following is Nitin Singhania. Okay. You can go through the latest edition. So micro syllabus we'll start with sculptural art in India. Okay. And this will be the sub chapters. Okay. Then architecture in ancient India. So you have it in your app. What you need to do is, once we finish something, you need to write that this has been completed, right? Then Indo-Islamic architecture, modern architecture, Indian paintings, pottery traditions in India, music in India, dances in India, martial arts in India, Indian theatre, Indian puppetry, Indian cinema, religions in India, Bhakti and Sufi movements, languages and literature in India, and then miscellaneous topics. Okay, and then the contemporary topics also. So this will both cater to your UPSC and your OPSC syllabus also. In OPSC, just like Indian culture, we have a big part of main syllabus which deals with Odia culture. Okay, so this you can go through in details in your app. So now let us start with art and culture. Now, why this subject is important? So see, every year, directly or indirectly, you can expect in prelims around 10 questions. Sometimes it is even more. And a part of your mains exam. Okay, that also comes from this part. Okay, so the return on investment on this part is quite good. And it is a non-technical part also. Okay, you don't have to, give a lot of time to it. Okay, you don't have to give a lot of time to it. Whatever, if you study in the proper manner, then easily you can finish this, okay, and get good marks. Right. So, as I told you, first, what will be your textbook? See, there are many resources. Okay, many resources are there, many books are there. But Nitin Singhania is good. Okay. Also, other books are also there. Nowadays, many new publishers or new authors have come with good books. Government of India organizations are also there, like CCRT and all. Their website also you can refer. Okay. So, the textbook that I will be referring to is Nitin Singhania. Art and Culture. You can also refer the same book. Okay, or any book you refer. The thing is that remember that syllabus. You refer any book, does not matter. syllabus wise you have to complete. Okay, so that is very important from the syllabus point of view. So today, let us start with some basic concepts. Okay, art and culture. See, here what we will study is completely exam specific things. Okay, we are not going to have philosophical discussions like what is art, what is culture, what is the difference between them. Okay. These things obviously are not going to come in exam. Right. So the orientation has to be exam specific. Now, if you go to your syllabus, the first thing that comes is Indus Valley, okay, culture. Right. Indus Valley culture. That is what comes first. Okay, in our syllabus. Right. So first we come to the general overview, okay, of art and culture, what we have to study, and then we will go to the first part of our syllabus, that is your Indus Valley civilization. Okay, art and culture during the Indus Valley civilization. That in itself is a very big part. We will be completing it in 2 classes. Okay, so today basically we will go for the basic, okay, the basic part, that is Indus Valley civilization, or even before Indus Valley civilization, we can say that the art and culture that we will study, okay, how are we going to divide it, right, so that it will be easy for us to study it. Okay, so if you classify Indian architecture, just like you have classified Indian history, okay, Indian history, if you see how we have classified Indian history. So this is the time frame. Actually, the classification has been primarily done by the Europeans and the British. So based on the religion of the rulers, they classified history. Okay, they divided history into 3 parts. Indian history. One is ancient India. Then primarily the Indic religions were there. That is what we now call Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and all these religions. Okay, so that is ancient India. That we will see from prehistory to Harshavardhan. Okay, that is ancient India. Then medieval India. So that is the Arab conquest of the Sindh from that period. Okay, till you can say the later Mughals, and even after that. Okay, when British conquered the Indian subcontinent slowly. Okay, which we say is basically the modern Indian history. Okay, so please remember that this classification has been made by the European historians, by the British. Okay. So there are obviously a lot of biases in this. Once we go to these parts, I will tell you what are the biases. Why these biases are persisted till now? Because historiography, okay, that is the art of writing history, for a very long period of time was left to these Western historians, and once they went away, they established their coterie of left historians. Okay, historians like, let's say, Romila Thapar, Irfan Habib, and many others. Okay, who could not accept proof which was there on their face of the things which happened in India. So they had their agenda, they went by their agenda. Okay, but now since it is a era of open information, whatever they said, whatever they did is being questioned. Okay, so modern history basically from advent of the Europeans, that is from 1498 when Vasco da Gama came to India, okay, till our independence. This is how the history of India has been divided by the Europeans. Okay. Now, if you come to art and culture, similarly, when we talk about art and culture, and if you go through your micro syllabus, the first thing that we have to study, okay, is architecture. Okay. So, same thing we have to study: architecture in ancient India, architecture in medieval India, architecture in modern India. Okay, now if we divide it, in ancient India, like the questions you saw today, the first and most important from exam point of view is the Harappan art, followed by the modern period. Okay, Ashoka and the Mauryan dynasty. Then after that, the post-modern period, the Gupta period, and then we will see the regional or mainly the South Indian art. Okay, 5 things we have to study. Right? Harappan, Mauryan, post-modern, Gupta, and South Indian. Similarly, in medieval period, that is the Sultanate art, that is the Delhi Sultanate, and then the Mughal art. And in modern India, initially when the Europeans came, like what you find in Goa, okay, what you find in places of some parts of West Bengal, like Chandannagar and all those places. Okay, what you find in Pondicherry, Puducherry, French. Okay, so Indo-Gothic style, and also there is influence from the Roman side. So that is the Neo-Roman style. Both type of architecture you will see in modern Indian. Okay. So this is the basic division. See, when we will be discussing, I will be focusing more on the concepts. You don't have to take any running notes, etc. Notes are already provided to you in form of the books. Books are very good from exam point of view. But here we will discuss the concepts. Okay, so there is no need of writing anything. You are getting printed material, 16 books. You will also get PDFs of important class notes in your app. You just need to go through it. No need of writing. If there is anything important which is not there in the material, I will tell you that you have to write. Okay, but 99% that requirement won't be there. Okay, so let us start with the Harappan art and culture. But before that, I'll just tell you some basic things. What is prehistory? Okay, what is history? What is proto-history? So remember these 3 things. Prehistory means a time where people did not know how to write. That is prehistory. History means they knew how to write, and they have written. Proto-history is, okay, now they wrote in some kind of script, but that script, okay, was known to maybe some other civilization of that time, okay, like Indus Valley civilization. They have written, but we have not been able to fully decipher the script. Okay, recently in 2025 itself, there was this conference in Coimbatore where, you know, they're saying that most of it is now deciphered. Some parts still not deciphered. Most of it has been deciphered. So prehistory, proto-history, and history. Prehistory, no writing. Proto-history, some writing, but problems in interpretation. History, complete writing. Okay. So prehistory, your periods like, let's say, your periods where, okay, writing was not there. Okay, the early man, for example. Right? Then next is proto-history. So that would be Indus Valley and those parts. See, Indus Valley people have written, and other contemporary civilizations have written about them. Sumerians are there, Mesopotamians are there. Okay, they have written about them, and we have those writings now. Right? And then history. History is from, let's say, you can say Vedic period. Okay, Vedic people use Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a living language. So we know everything about the life of the Vedic people. Why? Because they have written everything in Sanskrit. Although the Sanskrit they were using, that was Vedic Sanskrit. That is different, or what is called traditional Sanskrit. That is different from the simplified Sanskrit which we use today. Very few people are there who will be able to understand Vedic Sanskrit now. Okay. Anyway, so it is clear. Prehistory, history, okay, proto-history and history. Prehistory, proto-history and history. Okay. Now, when we go to the Harappan civilization, right? So, you know, the Harappan people, because we have not deciphered fully whatever they have written, lot of aspects of their life we do not know, especially the political aspects. Who ruled them? Was there a king, or it was ruled by some kind of governing body? Okay, we don't know. Was it community leadership? Was it ruled by business? Okay, clans? Okay, that we don't know. What we know about them, something about their religious life, something about their economic life, something about their social life. Okay, those kind of things. Got it. So, there are certain things first we need to understand about Indus Valley civilization. Right? The first thing is that the sites, okay, the important sites of Indus Valley civilization. So the first most important site which we will see, okay, on whose name the entire civilization was given. Right? That is, we have what do we call this Indus Valley civilization? It's also called Harappan culture. Okay. So when in any civilization the first site is excavated, generally the entire civilization is named after that. So Harappa was the first, okay, site to be excavated. Right? So it is in Pakistan on the banks of river Ravi. Okay, and that was the first site to be excavated. Right. Then you had other important sites like Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro in Sindhi language means the mound of the dead. Okay, so this we will see when we actually study ancient Indian history, because it will be out of the context of culture. Okay, Mohenjo-daro means mound of the dead. Why it was called mound of the dead? In short, I am telling you, there are many reasons or many theories for the end or the decay or the decline of Indus Valley civilization. One of them was that they were attacked by people from other areas who came and settled there. Okay, many said that they were the Aryans. Although the Aryan invasion theory, okay, has been completely denounced not only by Indologists but also by independent archaeologists and historians. Okay, if you're interested in that, you can just go through some recent data or recent material related to Aryan invasion theory. So Aryan migration theory is there, but not Aryan invasion theory. Okay, even in the migration theory, lots of new facts have come. Okay, so anyway, that will be out of context of your culture, art and culture. So Mohenjo-daro, okay, there we will see lots of, important buildings, artifacts which we have got. So in Indian side also, so these two are in Pakistan, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Okay, earlier this was the biggest site, but now the biggest site is in Haryana, Rakhi Gadi. Rakhi Gadi has many mounds which have not been excavated till now. Okay, so it is expected that once entire Rakhi Gadi is excavated, it will be a much bigger area than Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Okay, so Rakhi Gadi is there in Haryana, Dholavira is there in Gujarat. Okay, then Lothal is there. Lothal was in news recently. Okay, so it was a major port. Okay, other ports were also there which we'll study, like Sukta Jindor was there. Okay, Sukta Jindor, now it is not a port because of uplift of land. It has been cut from the ocean. Okay, that is in Iran-Pakistan border, Sukta Jindor. Right. So Lothal, this is called the Manchester of Indus Valley civilization. Very important port. Okay, because these people had very good business. Okay, and this was a major port. Then other Banwali is there. Okay, Ropar is there. Right. Many other, Kali Bangan is there. Right, which is basically Kali means black, Bangan means bangle, black bangle. Kali Bangan means black bangle. Okay. So anyway, we will see these different sites in detail once we go to those particular sub chapters. Right. Now you see this Indus Valley people, they were very particular with their town planning. Okay, and accordingly their architecture was also like that. Right. So in many places you will see, next class I'll be showing you the photos, then you can understand that the cities, because this Indus Valley civilization was more or less urban civilization. So most of the cities, they had two levels. Okay, one was citadel and one was the lower city. Citadel obviously was on the high ground, raised above the lower city, where you could see the lower city. Most of the citadels were properly fortified, means there was fencing or there were some fort like precautions, preventive structures were there, fortification was there, and important public buildings were there in the citadel. And that included the houses of the people who were ruling, important public buildings, granaries, etc. Those were there in the citadel. And in the lower city, you had the common people. And they were also quite advanced. There were these simple houses, and there were also one-story houses. So lower city, common people were living. And what was the structure? Structure was same like you will see in villages. Okay, in cities you will not see that home structure. In villages you will find a courtyard or angana or angan. That is, this is the courtyard, and around the courtyard the rooms are there. Okay, so this will be open space. So their houses were like this. Okay, and if you see the town planning of the Indus Valley people, it was very immaculate. Okay, the first thing was that there was grid layout of the streets. That means the roads, they crisscrossed at 90 degrees. Like in Bengaluru or internationally, any big city you see, you find such kind of, okay, first row, second cross, things like that. That they were doing at that time. Okay, so grid pattern layout of the cities, of the roads. Okay, then what were the other things which they followed? Town planning and all. So they were very particular of the health and hygiene. Okay, so the drains, they are all gypsum coated so that the dirty water does not go into the ground. The drains are covered, not open drains, and each house had their drains connected to the main drain. Okay, and they had their method of cleaning the main drain also. They had cesspits. Like now we are having cesspits. What is a cesspit? So suppose this is a long drain, main drain. So after, let's say 10 kilometers, there is a cesspit. Then again after 10 kilometers, there is a cesspit. What happens in this cesspit? All the solid and semi-solid things which pass over the drain, they will get trapped here. And the water, dirty water, that will keep on flowing. Like we are having now, if you see, we are having cesspits in the main drains of our cities. So now when you have to clean the drains, you don't have to clean these 20 kilometers. You just have to clean this where the solid and semi-solid things are connected. Only this part has to be cleaned. Okay, so these things they were doing at that time. So cesspits. And these drains, they emptied much outside the city. Okay, for reasons of health and hygiene. The drains emptied much outside the city. Okay, not near the city. So they were emptied, okay, outside the city. Right? Next, street lighting. They had the concept of street lighting. So you will ask, obviously, there was no electricity obviously at that time. And then from where street lighting came? So the burning of wood. Okay. Then in Dholavira and other places, we have found rainwater harvesting and water harvesting structures. Okay. Then what are the other things? Privacy. They were very, very concerned about the privacy. So the houses, so this is the main road. If a house is built here, okay, so there will be a by-lane. So the main door of the house will be opening through the by-lane. The wall which faces the main road, there will be no door or no window for privacy. Okay, so they were very concerned about the privacy. Right? Then, what are the other things that we need to remember regarding their town planning? So, water harvesting we have seen, street lights we have seen, structure, how the grid layout has been there. That also we have seen. Okay, what are the other things that you should know about the town planning? So there were a lot of public buildings. Okay, there are a lot of public buildings. So public building means, you see, like in Mohenjo-daro, we have the Great Bath. So in next class, that is on Friday, I'll show you the figures, and with the figures you can understand, or you can see it from your textbook also. You see, something, in Indian culture especially, one of the biggest characteristics of Indian culture is both change and continuity. Okay, change and continuity, right? Change and continuity. There are many things that we did, or the people did, in the Indus Valley civilization, which we are still following. One of them is ritualistic bathing. Like even now, okay, during Shraddh or during any other ceremony, people will go and they will have a dip, okay, in the Ganga or any local river, pond. So ritualistic bathing concept is still there, and it was there from Indus Valley time. Okay, so this ritualistic bathing was done in these great baths, the most magnificent of which you find in Mohenjo-daro. Okay. Similarly, we will see later that they were also worshipping a lot of trees and all. Next class we will see that. People tree, for example. Till now it is continuing. Okay. So there are a lot of things which have continued. Many things which, okay, has changed with time. So we can say that Indian culture survived. Okay. This tradition survived because of change and continuity. Because if you look at the contemporary civilizations, Sumeria, completely gone, destroyed. Okay, Mesopotamia, right? What was the civilization in Iran and Iraq at that time? Okay, in Egypt at that time. You go to current Egypt, there is no similarity in their culture. Okay, same thing in the cultures of Iran, Iraq, other places. Okay, but so they lost their civilization, right? But in India, because of this, what you can say, the power to adapt, okay, and this concept of change and continuity, you will find lot of things have been preserved. Okay, so overall, we have discussed a little bit about your Indus Valley civilization. Some basic things we have discussed. You go through the files which I have told you in your app. Okay, like first one, which we have just discussed. Okay, that question has come many a times in UPSC and OPSC. Okay. See here. Discuss the urban planning principles of Harappan civilization. How did these architectural features reflect the socio-political organization and lifestyle in Harappan society? Provide examples from key sites like Mohenjo-daro and Harappan. Okay, now you see. One line introduction you can give. Then grid layout is that these points are more important. Advanced drainage system which we have studied. Residential architecture. Public buildings and granaries. Citadel and lower towns. Sophisticated water management and standardization. Means the bricks they were using. No? So they were using bricks because contemporary civilizations were using stone. They were using standardized bricks, okay, of standard shape and size. right? So this is basically they'll ask you to write it in 250 words. Okay, this answer is given in 270 words, right? Plus minus 10% is acceptable, means 20 words here or there, that is fine, 25 words. Okay, so this is very important that you have to stick to the length. Okay, it's a 250 words answer, so our answer is of 270 words. So from the first class itself, you have to have this practice of writing according to the exam pattern. Okay, so this you can, first question at least you can try, because this part more or less I have made it clear. Next, this one, the pre and proto history. Okay, this is also important. This you need to go through all the 20 MCQs which are given. Okay, and we will see the details in the next class on Friday. So as I told you, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be this art and culture class. Okay, and then rest 3 days will be your geography. Okay, so Anubhapal sir will be taking tomorrow geography 10 o'clock. Let me tell you the structure of the classes. Okay, for the time being till 20th, the structure is basically like 9 a.m. we are starting. Okay, so 9 a.m. we are having, that is from tomorrow, right? Current affairs. That's an open class on YouTube. You can see that. Today this is a demo class, so it is on YouTube. Okay. Otherwise, your classes will be held through Google Meet. You will get the link in your registered Gmail ID. Okay. Then 10 a.m. will be your theory class, whatever. Okay. Then 12 p.m. optionals will start. So 20th law is starting. I guess 24th home science is starting. Similarly, other optionals will also open. Okay, these two will be starting 20th and 24th. So that will be 12 to 2. Okay. This is the structure. And answer writing classes. So existing batch is going on 6 to 8 polity. This is existing batch. New students who have joined in today's batch, you are also free. You can join here also. Okay. And then, so this is for 3 days. Polity is for 3 days. Rest 3 days, we will be having answer writing and prelims practice. This is whatever you have studied in these theory classes. These things we will be doing. That is evening 3 days, 6 to 8. Okay, so this will be the structure. Detailed timetable will be shared in your group, so you can follow that. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp me. I am available 24/7 through WhatsApp. If you have any doubts regarding preparation, regarding which book to study and all, if you are unable to make the decision by yourself, then you can WhatsApp me. Give me some time to reply. Most probably I will be replying you with a voice message. Okay. So I wish you all the best for your preparation. Namaskar. We'll meet tomorrow in the current affairs class, and theory class we'll be meeting next Friday. Okay. Thank you all. Namaskar.